All right. Well, let's make progress. We want to look at some of the more difficult conversations that have happened over the weekend. Very, very unfortunate one there. I want to take us to Agona, Agona West. So there's a story on citynewsroom.com. Agona West, one injured after gunshot fired during campaign rally. And this story is by Calvis Tete. And it says here, one person sustained gunshot wounds and several others suffered minor injuries when a gun was fired through a crowd during a mini rally in Agona Swedru. Now, according to City News, supporters of Chris Arthur, a candidate, were returning to Agona Swedru from a campaign launch in Otinkran, a community that is in the Agona West area. Along the way, they encountered supporters of incumbent MP Cynthia Morrison at Agona Nyakrom, who were also campaigning. As they passed through the crowd, a gun was unexpectedly discharged, injuring Haruna Rashid, Chris Arthur's campaign team manager, who sustained gunshot wounds to the ribs. The MPP Agona West constituency chairman, Jibril Tanko, narrated that the parliamentary candidate's team was attacked by Cynthia Morrison's team without provocation when they attempted passing through the crowd. It is unfortunate that we were attacked after we went on a campaign tour with our parliamentary candidate at Otinkran. Our MP, Cynthia Morrison, was also launching her campaign at Agona Nyakrom. And we had to go through the crowd at Nyakrom before getting to our destination. The atmosphere in the crowd was a bit charged, and Cynthia Morrison's supporters started attacking us. I even told my parliamentary candidate that the way things are going, we could not pass through the crowd. But the unfortunate happened. A gun was fired, and the bullet hit Haruna Rashid, the campaign team manager for Chris Arthur, and he has been rushed to Accra for treatment. And the story goes on here. The chairman added that the incident had been reported to the police for investigations to ensure the culprit is apprehended and prosecuted. We are surprised by the campaign team of Cynthia Morrison and have made official complaints to the police in the area. We want the police to apprehend the culprit, but we will not relent in our efforts, and we will ensure that Chris is successful in his parliamentary bid. Other supporters were also injured in the chaos and were taken to Agona Swedru Government Hospital for treatment. All right, I'll begin with you, Ibrahim, on this one. Very close to elections. These things do not portend a good omen for us. You know, first of all, question that comes to mind is, why should we even have armed men in our campaign teams? The police should be the ones that are providing security for us as per our constitution and our laws, right? And then also, what can we do to sort of diffuse the tension? You know, I mean, you're going on a campaign rally. You need to pass through. You know, maybe you should have waited a bit, considering the fact that it's like a crowd, that people are charged. I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
Well, first and foremost, let me extend my prayers to Haruna Rashid. He's the Nasara coordinator.
Okay.
The reports say that he's in a critical condition, so we pray that, inshallah, he pulls through successfully. And now to the substance of your question. You're right. There should be no room, there should be no reason why anybody should come to a rally of any sort bearing arms. It's just not, it's inimical to Ghana's character. Remember we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago when we had at Mamobi, there was again a gunshot where you have NDC and MPP doing their normal weekend health walk to ginger crowds and support. You know, we have been enjoying this democracy in the Fourth Republic since 1992.
Yeah.
The incidents are few and far between, so I want to restate that these are peculiar. They're not indicative of how we do our politics in Ghana.
Yeah.
That's not to say because we get once every blue moon, so we should not talk about it. The more we talk about it and then act upon it, we can, God willing, inshallah, erase the canker, however small it is, from our midst. I'm hoping that, as it happened with the Mamobi incident, the CCTV cameras that are generally in the system, depends on where they were, if they were in an urban area, it captured one of the gentlemen holding a gun. You saw it. That aside, everybody has mobile phones now. So generally, maybe there may be some footage that they can responsibly release to the security police, and so we can catch these people. Anybody, whether they're from your party or another party, they're not acting in the interests of Ghana's politics. So nobody should give them any kind of safe harbor, no cover. No, don't give any political cover, because it's these individuals that spoil it for the rest of us. And you're right, David. You know, we have security personnel who are properly licensed to carry arms should there be an incident that requires any kind of protection by the use of arms. So how can we move forward on this? It's for us as citizens, not as politicians or party members, just as citizens, to see something, say something, and report that something. And when the person or persons are arrested, I'm sure, inshallah, they will be, this is where we should show no political favor or political, you know, vengeance, if that's the right word. The person is acting against the interests of Ghana, regardless of which political banner they allegedly say they belong to. I pray the security services and both political parties will say, no, this is not one of us. Please deal with him or her by the full letter of the law. That's how we deal with this canker, David.
All right. Victor, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, David, you know, this just tells us the flashpoints that we'll be having during this election.
You don't think it's an isolated incident?
No. Yes, it might be an isolated incident, but it tells you the stakes are high. This is even just within the MPP and the constituency generally, because Cynthia Morrison is coming from the MPP. Chris,
she's still the sitting MP.
Yes, she's still the sitting MP, and Chris is it. It tells you that there have been some remote causes, and it has heightened up to the extent that now everybody thinks that when we are even going for campaign or a walk, there's a need for weapon, which should have been the case and should not be the case. And what is giving, you know, I wish Haruna speedy recovery, because it will not be right just because of election. We will have to be losing lives. And when he loses his life now, his family and children are the ones who are going to bend the brunt of it. They are going to be denied that fatherly love, who will even support them. But for me, out of all this that is happening, there is a common thread. There's a golden thread that we can find. What's that golden thread? Our security institutions are not ready, especially the police, to arrest and prosecute people of this nature. I tell you, Ghana police has been caught sometimes of the political influence and cover. They get to know the people, that these are the people, and I'm telling you, if Ghana Police Service says we want to do investigation and get to the logical conclusion of it, within few days, they know all the bad boys, they know the informants, they know everybody within the community. They know. But the issue is, I'm not saying it's only the MPP, it cuts across the political parties. That when somebody misbehave, or we have, let me use my words advisedly, we have this miscreants within the party, who even sometimes their behavior is out of line within the malls and the of the party, the constitution of the party, or the ethos of the party. Yeah. But sometimes they are tolerated because we believe that they will provide protection, because it's not being provided adequately by the state institution. So we always bring these people in. Now we know them, but they are not being punished. When was the last time you ever heard that somebody has committed this within political contest and has been punished and has been jailed? Maybe he gets arrested for 3 days, a week, everything dies down, and he's back to the fold. So the motivation is that, look, yes, let it happen. We would arrest you for a week, and then we leave you. Nobody is punished. So this would continue. And I think that it is high time that our security, which I know, they should be profiling the hot spots, the flashpoints, and also be emboldened. They should be emboldened. That is, the system should embolden them that once you are doing your job and everybody agrees that it is wrong, nobody is going to influence. Yeah. But once there will be influence peddling and political covering of these people, we will have to live with this problem. Yeah. You know, I think these are the problems that brought about the vigilantism. People, and we now have to even legislate. Once we have legislated, yes, it's died down, but they are still with us. They are still with us. So I believe that is an issue we need to critically look at. And let the authority at least tell their people that this is the line. You don't cross this line. If you cross this line, you'll be on your own. And I'm sure they will also know what to do. That nobody says don't come and campaign. Come, let's do it together. But if you cross some specific lines, you'll be on your own and you'll be dealt with. I think that if all the parties, everybody, we agree to that, we won't be having such of this thing, because they know that I have crossed the line, and once I've crossed that line, I'm on my own and I'll be punished. Nobody will want to go such further. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this is happening. You know, people put their emotion, everything into political activities, and all they want to do it is, by all means, we want to win. And you know, people also take advantage to settle personal scores. They settle personal scores. It might not even be related, but because they had issues, and you're on the other side, I'm on the other side, it is time to settle personal scores under the cover of political activities. So if it is done, it's a political activity, so nothing happens.
Well, I think as long as we make politics almost like a no-go area in terms of dealing with criminal activity, these kinds of things will persist, you know. But I hope that, as you've all called for, that peace and calm will prevail.